Good morning, afternoon, or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas, back with my Premier League predictions, episode 8, game week 8 in the Premier League. Let's get straight into it. Actually, scrap that. Before we get into it, quickly hit that subscribe button. Now hit the intro.
They think it's all over. It is now.
It's gonna be a good day, a good vibe, a little Postmates in my...
We start game week 8 with the early kickoff on Saturday, which is the London derby between Tottenham and West Ham. Now, Tottenham are currently having their worst start to a season after 7 games in 16 years, and the international break did come at a good time for them after that crazy game last time out, which they ended up losing 3-2 to Brighton. West Ham are also underperforming this season, but they do come here after that big win that they got against newly promoted Ipswich last time out, where they won 4-1, and they are better on the road than at home this season. They have picked up points in all of their away games so far. 7 out of the last 9 head-to-heads has seen both teams to score. I don't think that'll be the same this time round though, as I reckon Spurs will win this one 2-0. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, where we start with Fulham at home to Aston Villa. Now, 8th place Fulham could leapfrog Villa in the table with a victory here, and they have got a good home record this season. They've got 2 wins and a draw, although in each of those 3 games both teams did score. Aston Villa have won the last 3 head-to-heads between these 2 sides, and a victory here for Villa will mean they've won back-to-back games at Craven Cottage for the first time in the club's history, and they do come here off that 0-0 result against Manchester United, which was their first clean sheet in 12 games. 13 out of the last 14 times these 2 teams have played, whoever scores first goes on to win the game. However, I don't think that will matter this time round, as I reckon this one will end in a 2-2 draw. Next, we have Ipswich at home to Everton. Now, Ipswich are still winless in the Premier League this season, and after 7 games, they have 4 draws and 3 losses to their name. And they will have some extra pressure on them this weekend, as they've never gone 8 games without a victory in the top flight season. Everton, after losing their first 4 games of the season, have picked up 5 points out of a possible 9 in their last 3 matches, and they have looked to turn a corner. However, they are on a winless run of 14 away matches without a victory. Will Ipswich get their first win of the season in this one, or will Everton get their first away win in 15 matches? I think it will be the first option, as I reckon Ipswich will win this game in a tight game, but they will edge this one 2-1. Next, we travel to Manchester, where we got United at home to Brentford. Now, Manchester United have had a dreadful start to the season, picking up their lowest points tally at this point of a season since the 1989-90 season. And it seems like Groundhog Day, as just as Erik ten Hag is going to get the sack, he pulls out a result to save his job. Brentford have been fast starters in their last 4 matches, scoring before the minute-and-a-half mark in each of those games. The problem for them, though, is they can't see out those games. They only got 1 victory out of those 4 matches. Man United have lost their last 2 home matches, and they haven't lost 3 consecutive home matches since the 1978-79 season. I don't think that will change though, as I can see United winning here. I'm going for a Man United 2-1 victory. Next up, it's 7th v 6th in the Premier League. It is Newcastle at home to Brighton. Now, like I've said already a few times this season, Newcastle fans must be disappointed with their firing line up front, as they do have the players to cause damage, but they just aren't scoring enough goals. They've only scored 2 goals in their last 3 matches. Brighton will come here full of confidence after going 2-0 down to Tottenham last time out and winning that game 3-2 just before the international break. Unfortunately for Brighton though, their record on the road is not very good. They have only got 1 victory out of their last 9 away league matches. This game could go either way, but Newcastle are on an 11-game unbeaten run at St James's Park, and I believe that will continue come full time as they win here 2-1. Next up, we have Southampton at home to Leicester. Now, Southampton are still looking for their first win of the season, and they have been struggling this season. They have conceded the 2nd most goals in the league, and they've scored the least goals. Now, there's not much for their fans to be happy about, and I had high hopes for Southampton this season. Leicester got their first win of the season just before the international break, and their fan base are now slowly starting to accept Steve Cooper, but we know how quickly football changes. If they lose here, they'll obviously start changing their mind on him again. Leicester scored 9 goals in the 2 fixtures against Southampton last year in the Championship. I don't think it will be this time round though, as I reckon this one will be a cagey affair, finishing in a 1-1 draw. And the late kickoff on Saturday is at the Vitality Stadium as Bournemouth host Arsenal. Now, Bournemouth are a team that probably liked the international break, as they had time to regroup, as they had lost 3 of their last 4 matches. And on the contrast, Arsenal are probably a team that didn't like the international break, as they were on a 4-game winning streak, and they did lose 2 more players through injury in the international break. However, they are unbeaten this season in all 10 games they've played in all competitions, with 7 wins and 3 draws, so it shouldn't be too hard for them to pick the momentum back up in this one. Bournemouth do have a decent home record, and they have lost only 2 of their last 9 home matches. Both of those losses did come against teams from London though, and I think this will be the 3rd one come full time, as I reckon Arsenal will win here 2-0. And the first of two games to be played on Super Sunday is at 2 p.m. It is Wolves at home to Man City. Now, Wolves have had a poor start to the season. They have lost 6 of their 7 games so far this season, the other one being a draw. And they have conceded 21 goals so far this season. And things don't get easier for them as now they have Man City travelling to Molineux. If Wolves do fail to win here, it will be their worst start to a season in just under 40 years. And City come here in bullish fashion. They are still on that 30 league game unbeaten run with 24 wins in that time, as well as 14 of those games coming on the road. Unfortunately, on top of all of that, for Wolves, Haaland's favourite team to play against is Wolves, as he scored 8 goals in 4 matches against them. I think come full time, it'll be 10 goals in 5 matches, as I reckon he will score a brace and Man City will win here 3-0. And the 4:30 kickoff on Sunday is game of the weekend. It is first v fourth in the Premier League. It is Liverpool at home to Chelsea. Liverpool have started the season in very good fashion and find themselves top of the table. They have only conceded 2 goals so far this season, one of which though came in that 1-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest, which was their first game back after the last international break. However, since then they have gone on that run of 6 consecutive wins in all competitions. Chelsea have started off the season much better than everybody thought they would have, and they have won their last 3 away matches in a row. They do also only have 2 losses to their name in their last 22 matches. If Enzo Maresca does get a victory here, he will become only the 5th manager to win their first 4 away games as a manager, an achievement that Arne Slot succeeded in his last fixture when he beat Palace 1-0. Liverpool have only lost 2 of the last 17 head-to-heads between these two sides. I think that will continue come full time, as I reckon Liverpool will win here 2-0. And to round out game week 8 at 8 p.m. on Monday, we have Nottingham Forest at home to Crystal Palace. Now, Nottingham Forest come into this game after they did defeat Liverpool. They are on a 3-game winless run, but they have had some hard games in that time. And they don't boost the best home record. They've only won 1 of their last 11 home matches in all competitions. Crystal Palace are still winless in the Premier League this season, and they do need to get that first victory as soon as possible. However, they have only scored 5 goals so far this season, which is the same amount they scored in the single game of last season. The last 3 head-to-heads between these two sides have finished in a draw. I do think this one will be another cagey affair, but I think Nottingham Forest will get the 3 points with a 1-0 victory. And for my extra game this weekend, it is Sunday at 7:45 p.m. It is Roma at home to Inter Milan in Serie A. Now, Roma are the draw specialists so far this season, drawing 5 of their 9 games in all competitions, and Inter Milan currently sits second in the table. Inter Milan do come into this game favourites, but I reckon Roma will turn up here and get the victory in a 2-1 win. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. Please do continue to like, share, follow, but most importantly, press that subscribe button. If you did miss my interview midweek with Lee Judges, please watch that on my page as well. And remember, if you don't shoot, guys, you can't score. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.